To be clear, Central Asia is a desert, if we're talking about the image versus the reality. So I've come to the Bukhara region, which has few oases, but 90% of its territory is covered by the Kizilkum Desert. You probably think that the Kizilkum Desert is just sand dunes. You're wrong. I'll show you, my friends, that the desert is full of life. We'll be meeting all its inhabitants in a nature reserve. Do you think that your mission is complete if you set up a breeding nursery for wild animals and breed some goitered gazelles? No way! You ended up in lifelong slavery. But I'm glad, despite serious challenges, you keep doing this job. It gives hope to me that a goitered gazelles have future. Gerald Durrell, a famous British naturalist, zoologist, and author, delivered the speech here in the Jiran Eco Center in 1985. Now I'm here to find the main symbol of Uzbekistan. I think that Durrell's joke was driven somehow by a mix of jealousy and admiration. The Eco Center is unique, the only one like it in the world. Here they started making effort to conserve and breed endangered animals as early as in the 1970s.
They decided to set up Jiran Eco Center because in the 1950s to 1960s, when humans aggressively moved in on an arid desert land, the population of the goitered gazelle dropped dramatically. The locals would have very much preferred to keep the goitered gazelle in its natural habitat. One day, a shepherd found a lost goitered gazelle fawn and brought it to his home. And so they began to gather fawns little by little. Now they have about 50 gazelles.
Actually, in a couple hours, we'll know the exact number. I'm lucky enough to have arrived at the Eco Center while one of the most important events, the census of inhabitants in the nature reserve, is in progress. I was allowed to take part in this festive occasion. Indeed, it's a real party for the members of the Eco Center. Not that they put too much trust in me particularly. They always use volunteers for that. But in any case, it's a pleasure for me to be here. But how do they do it?
There are about 10 groups in the counting line. The distance between calculation points is 250 meters. The counting line is made in a very open part of the nature reserve with very good visibility, so all the animals can be seen and counted.
I couldn't imagine how it would be possible to count such fast and wild animals. My eyes quickly tired as I tried to distinguish the yellow-beige goitered gazelles, onagers, and Przewalski's horses against the yellow-beige backdrop of the desert.
Now our group is moving from the southern part of the nature reserve, making the animals run towards us. There's a group of goitered gazelles moving towards us from over there, and we have to be perfectly still and silent because any small movements can scare them away. Now I can see another group of 20 adult goitered gazelles. They're moving slowly towards us as well. When they get a bit closer, we'll be able to determine the age and sex composition of the herd.
These are onagers. Do you think they are horses or donkeys? Not sure. Zoologists can't agree on this one either. Some zoologists even call them half-donkeys. But unlike the majority of horses, onagers have never been domesticated. So I think only zebras can come close to onagers in their love for freedom. The onagers in Uzbekistan were nearly extinct. This eco-center started to restore the population with only 4 animals. And now look at the size of the herd that's running over there. Actually, I'd prefer not to only count the onagers and goitered gazelles, but to get introduced to the local inhabitants a bit better, as animals here are not only protected but bred as well, so you can see some animals in enclosures and even feed them up close. I'm loving it! I'm loving it! Now we're gonna feed a mountain screwhorn goat. What will we give it?
We'll feed it barley.
This is lunch, right?
Right.
How many times a day do you feed it?
Twice. The main feed 2 times in addition to twigs.
This screw-horn goat here is an honorable pensioner. It doesn't live in the desert, it has nothing left to do there, and it's quite old. As for this younger goat, it's here for company's sake. Like a Christmas elf for Santa Claus. Goats are very social animals and they don't like to live alone. Another name for the screw-horn goat is the markhor, which derived from the Persian word mar, meaning snake, and khor, meaning eater.
Of course.
Most likely, it's a simple folk etymology. In ancient Persian, the expression screw-horn sounds like the expression snake eater. And a so-called bezoar stone is sometimes found in the stomachs of screw-horn goats. Well, as the legend goes, this stone is a universal remedy for any poison. Will it eat from my hand?
You can try if you want. If I came here alone, probably it would.
Do you have a special smell?
No, it just knows me. I've been feeding this one for 5 years already, and all the others as well.
By sight? Actually, I get along well with goats, but not this one. Come here. What's its name?
Its name is Baga.
Baga?
That's what the guys called it. Bagatur. It means valiant.
All my attempts to appease Bagatur. By the way, its name is a historical Turco-Mongol title of honor, ending in the goat scorning me, much to my regret. Figuratively and almost literally. That's curious. The valiant goat just wanted to do what it wants to do. Okay, all the same, as long as I hope to find the main symbol of Uzbekistan, this dignified and exclusively mountain-dwelling creature is not the best candidate. By the way, the screw-horn goat is a point of national pride for Pakistan. Here, stay here with your nanny goat, and I'll go find another animal. Look at this beauty.
Okay, stop swearing. Stand still.
It swears?
Yes, it's swearing, as you can see.
Swearing? Is it in rut?
Yes, it doesn't recognize anybody.
Oh, well. Want to break its horns?
It won't break its horns, but it can break the fence if it wants. Actually, it just doesn't realize that it can.
Look at what rutting season is doing to stags. This Bukhara deer is a local relative of the red deer. A reintroduced one, in fact, but reintroduced quite successfully. As you can see, this male feels so comfortable here that he cares only about reproduction. And this is a good indicator of any animal's condition. This deer could stake a claim to be the living symbol. Well, let's get back to mutton. Shall we visit the sheep? Oh, it's really pretty difficult. They are quite wild. Urials don't look like the sheep are accustomed to at all. The only resemblance between the wild ancestor and its domesticated descendant are its horns. Now mountain sheep have so many different species that zoologists still can't agree on how to classify their many species and subspecies. Didn't your grandma call you a sheep when you were a child?
Nope.
No? Mine usually said that when I misbehaved. No?
I can't say what my granny called me when I misbehaved in front of a camera.
Well, now I can see why my grandma called me a sheep. These ones really resemble a mountain sheep. They're almost the same.
Well, yes, they are mountain sheep as well.
Yes, they are sheep as well. Yet these particular mountain sheep are called the urial.
Yes, this is the Urial, the Bukhara mountain sheep.
Aha. Well, try calling your misbehaving kids urials instead of sheep to confuse them. How do we get closer to them?
We'll do it from that side.
The most important thing when dealing with sheep is patience. The young sheep like to play, so us chasing them, oh, I'm so scared, is most likely the part of the game for them. I only hope that lunch will seem to be more important than this playful cross-country racing. Are they making such a mess on purpose?
Yep, their feeders are not attached to the floor.
Do they knock them over?
They feed, they play, they...
Kick?
Think what else?
Football? The sheep are playing football. Let me help you. How many do you have here?
Maybe there.
How many sheep?
9 adult, half as many would do.
Will that be enough?
9 adult, 5 kids.
Half?
Sure, go
Shall
on,
I
that's
pour
fine.
it?
The leader will eat it all the same. It's allowed to. In any case, it won't eat too much.
Not overfeeding the animals is a real problem. In the wild, they have no chance of eating too much of anything. There's not loads of vegetation in the areas they inhabit. They lack natural breaks in this respect. Only the biggest mane sheep keeps control over the amount of food eaten. That's its responsibility, in fact. What if something happens? I mean, what if competing sheep come and our main sheep can't fight? Because it's simply eaten too much. But also, the young and females can be stuffed so full they suffer from cramps and indigestion. Food, lunch.
Oh, you silly things. Why are you running in that direction? There are traps over there. They are attached to her.
You see, the thing is, lambs love their mom dearly. They keep to her until they turn a year old. Really attached, right?
Can you see the main sheep? Over there. It's alone by the feeder. It's the leader here.
The mom and its lambs are inseparable.
Well, yes. They are social animals after all, and they'll remain that way for life. Speaking of males, later, they can separate from the others and form some special bachelor groups. In fact, there needs to be one main male, a group of females, and their lambs. Among them are females, and as for the males, when they mature enough, they will start competing with the lead male. And if they impose a serious threat, they can drive him away.
So now, urials are not numerous in Uzbekistan. There are only 53 of them. Here they are bred in enclosures. But when the flock gets bigger, at least 100 animals strong, the sheep will get ready to live on their own. They will be moved to a more spacious enclosure with a natural water source and vegetation, and they will be fed less and less until it's clear the urials can survive in the wild.
Let's go and finally find some food to the deer, or it will tear the fence to pieces.
This deer is called Bambi, a name which seems to have suited it only in its early childhood. While we were feeding the sheep, it was groaning loudly, trying to draw our attention. It doesn't really look like a wild animal at all. It seems a bit bratty and ill-bred.
Well, if it sees that the others are being fed and it's not, it gets a little restless.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's it. It has calmed down.
Right?
Well, as far as I can see, you only have this one deer here.
It's very rare here in Uzbekistan. Its natural habitat is the riparian forest, but more than 90% of the riparian forests in Uzbekistan have been destroyed, so they simply don't exist.
However, there is still a small area for the deer along the Amu-Bukhara Canal. That's where Bambi's offspring will be released, because in the center they are currently doing a special Bukhara deer breeding program. Yet Bambi himself will stay under the care of people for the rest of his life.
I see you're full, right? Yes. All right, let's go.
Oh, now he wants to play.
Oh, it's no good playing with him when he's like this. He's grown up with people, so he can't be released into the wild. We nursed him from milk from a bottle. Male-hoofed mammals that have been nursed from a bottle can't be released into the wild. They can be dangerous.
What on earth is that? This one is dangerous and the others are too scared of me, but I would love so much to touch some of these animals. Alexander felt sorry for me, so he grabbed some sweet dried fruit and took me to an enclosure for young animals. Hopefully they love sweets and will be a little more cooperative. Little ones, we brought you something.
Careful. Shall I enter first so they can see me?
Aha.
Little ones, come and eat something. Come on, don't be afraid. Let's go. Bandit, let's go and eat something. Little ones.
The sounds they are making are so funny.
That's a warning, no.
Do they smell me or what?
A warning signal.
A what?
Well, not of danger, but a call for attention. If it's repeated,
that?
they do it pretty often. They'll scatter. It means danger.
They're eating so loudly.
Aha! You should hear their chomping when they are giving watermelons. That's when they really chomp away. Bandit, stand still. Bandit, come on, eat. Be still. If you move a muscle now, it will get scared.
This method of keeping animals is called semi-free, meaning that people don't interfere with the lives and relations between animals. Surprise, surprise, I was so busy trying to be quiet, which is always hard for me, as you know, that I didn't even notice that the dried apricots not only attracted the urials, but also some of the young quartered gazelles with their funny arched horns.
They are hook-like when they're young.
Oh,
It's like a sheathed weapon. When it turns 4, its horns will sharpen, and it will be able to compete for females' attention. It can't do that for now. I mean, they may pick fights with one another, but it'll be more like play fighting. This male couldn't do any serious harm with its hooked horns. Adult males have straighter horns.
aha.
It can already pierce with its horns.
Goitered gazelles are truly elegant and graceful. Their slim legs can move at speeds of up to 45 miles an hour. Here in Uzbekistan, people have always admired their beauty. Just look into these wonderful deep eyes. No wonder beautiful girls in Uzbekistan are compared to the slim, long-legged gazelles. But as it turns out, it's really difficult to breed them in captivity.
Everything matters here. You must consider everything. You may be giving them too much food, too little food. You may have overlooked something, failed to notice some illness, said something wrong, or rather spoken too loudly or something like that. If they get frightened, well, they don't like loud sounds or swift movements, anything like that. If you fail to hold them in your arms correctly or get it used to the dummy, a lot of things matter.
How delicate it all is. This goitered gazelle, this tender, graceful gazelle. Of course, Alexander's personal attitude plays its part here. His animals really are like his kids. What's this one's name?
This one is Bandit.
Bandit?
Nobody thought it would manage to survive. They brought it here after taking it from someone. It was really weak. A shaggy, skinny little creature.
I see now Bandit looks quite well fed. Yes, a name really means a lot in life.
Right. Yeah, I really tried my best to think of good names for all of them.
I was wondering how goitered gazelles looked in the wild. Alexander told me that in the wild they only run if they're scared and suggested watching gazelles on their way to their watering hole. If only I had known what was in store for me. Good morning, friends. It's 6 in the morning. The sun is coming up. I got up at 5 today. I'm heading towards the lake to see the goitered gazelles drink from the lake. To observe real wild animals, you need to conceal yourself in some shrubs and be very quiet. If you don't get too cold first, I'll show you something really interesting. How do I look? I didn't consider the harsh continental climate, with warm days and terribly cold nights. I'm not a goitered gazelle after all. Despite all their elegance, these creatures are very resilient. I feel like some geckos. You need to approach them very stealthily. I can't believe that the animals didn't sniff me out. Well, I'm here now, on the shores of the lake. These tracks in the sand bring some hope. Look here. Here they are. Here they are. Here they are. Let's follow these tracks. By the way, this season is a nourishing one for goitered gazelles here in the Kaizelkum Desert. They surely can live in very poor pastures where there seems to be nothing at all to eat. Yet at this time of the year, they have plenty of food. More proof of my hypothesis that someone was here. Quite recently, and that this someone had a good meal. That's it, the end. By the way, even I didn't see any animals. I still think this was well worth the try. I'll take a seat somewhere here. And good place to hide. And over here, I guess this is some more evidence. I hope I'm lucky enough to see something. As the sun rises, my chances are getting slimmer. Goitered gazelles don't like to come to the watering hole in broad daylight. In fact, drinking water once a week is enough for them. In fact, goitered gazelles can do without water for a very long time. But when there is desert surrounding you, any water is good. Mind you, this lake is salt water. There are 4 lakes in this area, and none of them are fresh water. Here they are. I can see 2 of them over there. Look, it's so beautiful here. Can you see the reflection in the water? At dawn, incredible. Now I can't move as my knees have gone numb. By this point, I felt absolutely certain as to which animal to call the living symbol of this country. Not so many wild animals can be seen here anymore, as people have settled on their lands, but this is really a global problem. I think that goitered gazelles are the most likely of all the animals to have a good chance of returning into the wild. Beauties, real beauties. They are really sensitive. Any rustling on my part and they will raise their heads at once. I simply can't understand how they hear it or see it. These beautiful golden creatures survive in most harsh environments. They are well adapted to the extreme temperature fluctuations, be it fervent desert heat or winter frost, which can happen here as well. They can survive with very little water and are very quick to flee from danger. Goitered gazelles have conquered areas where only strong and tough animals seem able to survive. Their grace, their noble heads, and big eyes are all natural qualities which save their lives. It's because of their physical appearance that goitered gazelles have managed to survive the arrival of civilization. In addition, the first animals in this natural park were goitered gazelles kept as pets because of their beauty. That's why I'll give the goitered gazelle the title of living symbol of Uzbekistan.